shows John Belushi and Gilda Radner as a married couple sitting in a waiting room. Belushi: so why are we here again? Radner: because, Brad, you know things haven't been working out between us lately. Belushi: I know, but why are we here? Radner: because my sister Janet said Lurch Che-Dee is the best marriage counselor in the business. She was only able to make it work with Chris by seeing Miss Che-Dee. Belushi: yeah, but my sister Mandy said she's just like the rest of them, a cheap knockoff who acts like a preacher and doesn't know what she's talking about. Phil Hartman opens the door as Lurch Che-Dee and says, well, Brad and Cindy, nice to meet you. Come in, won't you? Belushi and Radner enter the office and sit on a couch opposite of Hartman's desk, which he sits down at. Hartman: Brad, Cindy, I must tell you, you're my first couple I'm going to try a whole new therapy with. Belushi: new therapy? Hartman: well, yes. I follow the legacy of my family by instilling Christian values and demonizing Satan. And I just haven't gotten the results I've wanted. So I'm trying a different tact. Radner: what's the new tact? Hartman: Cindy, you impatient little eager beaver, if you'd let me finish. Now, instead of following the gospel of Jesus, I'm going to try to help you two by following Satan. Radner: Satan? What? Hartman: that's right, you insufferable little vulva vixen, Satan. Belushi: so what does that mean exactly? Hartman: well, let's put it to practice, numbnutters. What problem brings you in today? Radner: well, Brad here. Hartman: nuh-uh, you vagrant vagine. I asked your husband, not you. Belushi: well, I was fooling around on Cindy with her sister Janet. Hartman: Janet! You mean the poor pussy willow who's married to that nut nibbler Chris? Belushi: that's right. Hartman: well, isn't that special? How did you two get caught? Belushi: I confessed. Hartman: well, that's your first problem, you big old ball licker. You don't just confess. You keep going until you get caught. Radner: but the thought of him having sex with my sister has hurt my self-esteem and has torn our marriage apart. Hartman: well, my guess is that your marriage is torn apart because you're not letting him tear that love box of yours apart. Hail Satan. Radner: oh my God. Belushi: it's true, honey. We're down to like once a month. Hartman: see? If I were under my old teachy-preachy days, I'd say that Brad was a monster and that the three of us have to tame that monster. But now that I follow and hail Satan, I'd say, Brad, you let that monster out to and explode in as many vajayjays as it can find. Radner: are you kidding me? Hartman: well, I'm actually not, you snooty slut. But lucky for you, you're the most accessible hole your husband has. Radner: Hartman: oh, mangy, you're a dum-dum that's very cringy. You should surrender your feckless front bottom to big, bad, blue-balled Brad, who just wants to get his rocks off. Hail Satan. Belushi: that's right. Hartman: well, it's settled then. Either Koozie Susie is going to start putting out, or Brad's gonads are going to unload in Janet and whoever else. So you don't have a problem with putting out, do you, you little snotty snaps? Radner: no, I guess not, if you think it'll save our marriage. Hartman: well, I think it would help both your marriage and your musky muff from getting dry as a bone. Hail Satan, and dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday, not Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jen Hooks, Norm MacDonald, Gilda Radner, Danitra Vance, along with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, Linda McCartney, and your hosts, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. Everybody, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. Applause, applause, applause. Cook. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm Peter Cook, and next to me is Dudley Moore. Moore. That's right, and together we hosted Saturday Night Live together during its first season in 1976. Cook. That's right, and we told the New York audience then. The same thing we'll tell the dead audience now. The difference between English comedy and American comedy is we don't tend to have the zippy one-liners or anything like that. Moore. Our humor is a bit more sophisticated, really. Cook. Ours is more understated. Understated and subtle. Moore. Yes. Cook. That may explain why we've been dead a combined 47 years without getting a laugh. Moore. Right, and in fact, I bet very few in our audience realize we cracked 3 wonderful jokes in just the last few seconds. Cook. Those jokes will probably sink in about a half hour later. Moore. Oh yes, they'll continue to grow and dead people will be falling out of their seats in a half hour. Cook. Anyway, I think we should once again give the folks an example of our sophisticated and understated English humor. Moore. Why not? I'll get ready. Moore goes backstage. As a curtain draws, Cook grabs a chair and places it in the middle of the stage and says, "We're going to pull this curtain, or drape as you call it here in the dead states, and by the magic of placing the chair here, we have conjured up a producer's office. Miss Rigby, Eleanor, my love, will you send in the next auditioner, please?" Moore hops on the stage on one leg, as his other leg and one arm are wrapped in a trench coat. Moore shakes Cook's hand while continuing to bounce up and down. Cook. Nice to see you. Moore. Nice to see you. Cook places his hand on Moore's shoulder to get him to stop hopping and remain in place. Cook. Mr. Spigot, is it not? Moore. Spigot's my name, acting's my game. Cook motions towards the chair and says, "If you'd like to settle down for a moment, Mr. Spigot." As Moore begins to hop towards the chair, he says, "Oh, of course." Moore places the knee of his hidden leg onto the chair with his free leg dangling down. Cook. Mr. Spigot, you are auditioning, are you not, for the role of Tarzan? Moore. Yes. Cook. Mr. Spigot, I couldn't help but noticing almost immediately that you are a one-legged man. Moore. Oh, you noticed that? Cook. Yes, when you have been in the business as long as I have, Mr. Spigot, you get to notice these sorts of things almost instinctively. Moore. Yeah, like sort of ESP. Cook. That kind of thing, yes. Now, Mr. Spigot, you, a one-legged man, are applying for the role of Tarzan. Moore. That's right. Cook. A role traditionally associated with a two-legged artiste. Moore. Yes, correct. Cook. And yet you, a unidexter, are applying for the role. Moore. That's right, yes. Cook. A role for which 2 legs would seem to be a minimum requirement. Well, Mr. Spigot, need I point out to you with overmuch emphasis where your deficiency lies as regards in landing the role? Moore. Yes, I think you ought to. Cook. Perhaps I ought to, yes. Need I say with too much stress that it is in the leg division that you are deficient? Moore. The leg division? Cook. The leg division, Mr. Spigot. You are deficient in the leg division to the tune of 1. Your right leg I like. It's a lovely leg for the role. As soon as I saw it come in, I said, "Hello, what a lovely leg for the role." Moore. Oh, Cook, I got nothing against your right leg. The trouble is, neither have you. You fall down on the left. Moore, you mean it's inadequate? Cook, it is inadequate, Mr. Spigot. In my view, the public isn't yet ready for the sight of a one-legged Tarzan, swinging through the jungly tendrils shouting, "Hello, Jane." Moore, no, you're right. Cook, but don't despair, Mr. Spigot. I mean, after all, you score over a man with no legs at all, by 100%. Moore, well, I got twice as many. Cook, your street's ahead. Moore, so there's still hope. Cook, of course there's still hope, Mr. Spigot. I mean, if we get no two-legged character actors in here in, say, the next 18 months, there is every chance that you, a unidexter, will be the very type of artiste which will be attempting to contact with a view to jungle stardom. Moore, jungle stardom? As Moore gets up to shake Cook's hand, he begins to hop again as Cook says, "I'm just sorry I can't be more definite at this stage. Folks, we have a great show tonight. Linda McCartney is here. So maybe I'm amazed that we'll live and let die. We'll be right back."